What's up everyone, my name is Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Radical Red. Some kind of trend going on that everyone enjoys Pokemon Radical Red more than the hardcore nuts like I do at the end of the week, which is kind of ironic because those supposed to be the big video of the week. But I'm glad you guys like Radical Red. I love playing Radical Red, as you can see from the millions of videos on Radical Red on my channel. But anyways, today's challenge will be, can I beat Pokemon Radical Red without ever evolving a Pokemon? So it's going to be difficult. I can't evolve a single Pokemon. So I can't get a second stage Pokemon or a third stage Pokemon at any point in this game. I could use single stage Pokemon and I could also use the baby form of the evolutionary line, but I can't use any forms of evolution Pokemon. Those are the basic rules, and also on top of that, each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. So thank you so much for leaving a comment in the previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after a future Pokemon in my future challenge video, just drop it in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while he's down here, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me that you guys do that. And let's get into the challenge video itself. Now to start off with, our very first Pokemon is going to be a Froakie. We can evolve the Froakie based on the challenge obviously, but Froakie itself is already too powerful of a Pokemon. It could solo the first part of the game itself if you get lucky enough. It's a really great Pokemon to start off with, and that's what we're gonna catch ourselves in a Alolan Sandshrew, which from the previous challenge video on Radical Red, you guys should know how powerful a Alolan Sandshrew is. We're gonna add it to our team, and also we're gonna go out to this Egg Merchant and hatch ourselves in a Moroid, which is gonna have the hidden ability Snow Warning to boost up our Sandshrew already. So we have Hail for a Sandshrew. It's gonna be perfect as Faulkner gets obliterated by that combo, and it's the end for Faulkner. Like after that, we're gonna head into the first gym of the game. We're gonna face off against Brock first, and Brock Sprite, I just never noticed this, but Brock Sprite is pretty cool. I like the Heart Gold and Soul Silver Sprite. But anyways, we're gonna start the battle off against Brock using my Froakie to Water Post and then confuse the Geodude, hit himself in confusion and knock him out without losing a single point of HP on my Froakie, which is insane. So we beat down the Geodude. We also beat down the Vulpix. I don't know why he sent out his Vulpix, but he gets beaten down. The next Pokemon is going to be an Onix. He doesn't get one-shotted, but he also does not knock me out. So I'm going to save my Froakie, switch into my Amora to set up the Hail, and then just sack him, because this is a free switching into my Froakie to knock out the Onix, and also possibly to knock out the Arkin. And we beat down Brock pretty easily, and we get our first gym badge of the game. We could move out into Mount Moon, where we get our first single stage Pokemon that doesn't evolve, but we can actually have it on a team because it doesn't evolve. So perfectly enough, we got Mawile. It's gonna be a long-term investment on Mawile. Mawile does not get good until very much later in the game, but we'll have it on a team for now. But from there, we're also gonna go out to the grass and catch ourselves a Volt Absorb Pachirisu. Don't mind the Pawniard over here. The Pawniard was just a throwaway Pokemon that I just needed for the other battle. We're gonna catch ourselves a Volt Absorb Pachirisu and then hatch our next egg, which is gonna be a Phalanx, I don't know, this Mario character looking Pokemon. It's gonna be on our team. I don't know how it works because there's 4 sections of them, I believe. It's gonna be a single stage Pokemon, so it's super nice. As we head into the second gym of the game, we're gonna face off against Misty next. Misty's gonna be the water type gym leader of the game, and he's gonna start the battle off against us using a Frogadier, which we're gonna accidentally Rock Smash and bait in the Starmie. So I can switch out into my Mawile to do massive amounts of damage with my bite. Unfortunately, it does not knock him out. Mawile doesn't get good until you get Sucker Punch, so we're just gonna have to deal with that. I go out into my Amora to set up the Hail, and yes, it gets knocked down, and I'm able to get Ice Balls off against the Starmie. Luckily enough, it does keep recovering, and it gets paralyzed in paralysis, and eventually it actually knocks out the Starmie with an Ice Ball, and also one-shots the Floatzel with a maximum Ice Ball, and we actually knocked down 2 of her Pokemon with my Ice type, so Sandshrew goes crazy. Frogadier will knock him out as I switch out into my Pachirisu next to actually paralyze the Frogadier. I don't know why she let me do that, but from there I'm going to switch in between my Pachirisu and my Froakie to do some damage against the Frogadier, eventually knocking him out, which is super nice. And then her final Pokemon will be a Lantern, which all I have to do is sack my Pachirisu here, and this is actually very lucky. I go out into my Froakie to just lower the speed of the Lantern, allow my Phalanx to actually headbutt it. Is it Phalanx? Phalanx sounds weird to me. Anyways, I'm gonna call it Phalanx. Phalanx is going to headbutt it and knock him out with multiple lucky crits, as you see. 3 crits, and eventually I am able to knock him out, and we get the second gym badge of the game. Might be lucky, but we still get the dub. Anyways, from there, we're actually going to go out and catch ourselves a Sigilyph. I don't know why. We didn't even go out and look for the hidden ability Sigilyph. It's just a regular Sigilyph here, and I'm not too sure why we caught it, but we're going to have it on our team. It's a Psychic and Flying type Pokemon that a lot of people do not remember. From there, we're also going to go out and get the HM for cut. That allows us to go out into this raid den over here and get ourselves a Turtonator, and we're going to add it to our team. As well, we miss this catching opportunity of this Heracross. It does not evolve ever, but we just messed it up. But at the bare minimum, we're able to catch a Durant in Rock Tunnel, and since we're already in Rock Tunnel, we're just going to skip ahead and head into Celadon City. From there, we're going to go back into Vermilion City and face off against the third gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Lieutenant Surge next. We're going to start the battle off against Surge using my Sigilyph to Psychic into the Pincurchin, do a massive amount of damage, and then just go down. So Sigilyph goes down. I go out to my Durant next to knock out the Pincurchin. The Manectric comes out. I'm going to switch out into my Turtonator to avoid any sorts of damage. This is not a threat at all, as Turtonator is able to knock out the Manectric with a crit. Raichu comes out next. I am going to go into my Mawile, and for some reason he sets up two nasty plots in front of me. I'm able to crunch him and then force him out with a Volt Switch, so we'll take that. Next up, he can switch out into his Vigavolt, which I go out into my Phalanx. It's flinching down at the right times. Eventually my Phalanx is going to go down as he switches out to his Bolton, which is annoying, but I could go out into my Turtonator to finish off the battle. Flamethrower, knock out his Bolton and also his Raichu, and get the third gym badge of the game. Now next up, we're going to head into the next gym of the game. We're going to face off against Erika next. Erika is going to be the grass type gym leader, and since most of my Pokemon's pretty decent against her, it's going to be an easy battle. We're going to start the battle off against Erika using my Turtonator to Shell Smash up in front of her Rillaboom, take no sort of damage from her, and then I'm able to Flamethrower, knock out her Rillaboom, survive an attack from the Superior, and do massive amounts of damage to her, which is kind of funny. Unfortunately, the Superior will knock me out, but I do have a lot of priority moves on my team as I go out into my Mawile to Sucker Punch, knock out the Superior, force out the Mega Venusaur, which will knock out my Mawile, so I switch out to my Sigilyph to set up a Tailwind. Unfortunately, I went to bed, and eventually I am able to wake up, get a Psychic off against her, and then go out into my Hustle Durant to X-Scissor, knock out the Venusaur, and also knock out the Meganium. I'm not too sure what she was thinking at this point, but we're able to knock out the Meganium, and her final Pokemon will be Hisuian Electrode, which Durant goes down, but I go out into my Pachirisu to Super Fang it, and it explodes, and we get the 4th gym badge of the game. I don't know why I did that, but we'll take it. We'll absolutely take it. From there, we're going to move on into Giovanni's hideout, clear through Giovanni with our team. Our team is looking pretty nice, I'm not going to lie. And as well, we're going to face off against Ariana and Archer and clear through them real quick. And also, we have to add Amora back to our team to face off against Giovanni to get rid of the Sandstorm he sets up at the start of the battle to avoid his Excadrill actually sweeping my entire team. So that actually worked out pretty well as we're able to beat down Giovanni once again. And before we head into the next gym, we're going to go out and catch ourselves an Absol, which took a very long time to catch for some reason. Super annoying Pokemon, but eventually we're able to catch ourselves an Absol, replace our Mawile for the time being, because Mawile, long-term investment. I'm telling you guys, that is a long-term investment on that Pokemon. From there, we're going to face off against the 5th gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Sabrina. Sabrina's going to be a double battle fight, so we're going to start the battle off against her using our Durant and also an Absol. People keep saying the Indeedee looks ugly, and I do not disagree with you guys. It looks very ugly. Even if it's a shiny form, I don't know what kind of form it is, but it's just ugly. From there, I am able to Night Slash, knock out the Indeedee, and also Iron Head with my Durant to knock out the Hatterene. I'm also able to X-Scissor into the Crawdon and the Night Slash to knock him out, force him into a Trick Room, which, I mean, Ursaluna's not going to do anything. It's always going to protect the first turn, so we're just going to double up against Porygon 2 and just beat it down. Eventually, we are able to knock him out, which is kind of funny. And then on the following turn, the Ursaluna does nothing. It's going to protect itself, and we're going to actually knock out the Porygon 2, force out the Gardevoir, which I am able to knock out with an Iron Head with my Durant, and somehow Durant is surviving all of these moves as I'm able to go into Pachirisu. It is going to knock out my Durant, but eventually I am able to knock out the Ursaluna, and we get the 5th gym badge of the game, and just not too much worry at all. From there, we're going to move on and face off against the worst possible route in the game. We're going to face off against Cycling Road, and I'm just too lazy to go back and heal my Pokemon. Just leave me alone. I need to beat these trainers, and then I can finally go back and heal my Pokemon. But I just hate this route so much. But from there, we're going to face off against the next gym leader. After that, getting through the worst route of the game. We're going to face off against Koga next. Koga is going to be the 6th gym leader, and we're going to start the battle off against him using my Pachirisu to actually Thunder Wave into his Drapion. Worked out pretty well. Trying to catch the Swallow there, but it's a U-turn out. From there, I'm going to go out into my Absol. Absol is going to Mega Up and also Swords Dance. This doesn't count as an evolution, right? I'm not evolving, but I'm Megaing, right? I don't think that breaks the rules. I make the rules. I am able to knock out the Swallow and do a lot of damage against the Drapion as I switch out to my Durant to knock him out, which is super nice. A Zelgor also comes out. I dodge one of his moves, Iron Head to knock him out, and then his next Pokemon will be a Greninja, which I go out into my Phalanx. Phalanx is going to easily first impression and knock out the Greninja, and then his next Pokemon will be a Dragapult, which I'm just going to sack my Phalanx here. Go out into my Pachirisu next, Thunder Wave, and also sack him. As I go out into my Sigilyph next to set up the Tailwind, because I know that Toxicity is in the back and it can sweep me up pretty easily, I am able to outspeed him and get Psychic off. That allows me to go out into my Durant to outspeed him and Crunch to knock out the Turtonator and also knock out the Dragapult. We get the 6th gym badge of the game pretty easily, and then from there we're going to face off against Price next. Price is a super easy battle, especially with my Turtonator. He just sets up and just destroy everything. It's kind of funny, but we also get the Choice Scarf from Price here, and it's super nice. From there also we're going to get our final Pokemon in Seafoam Islands Caves. In here you could go into a max raid den and you can find yourselves a Dragovish, which doesn't evolve at first, so it's a single stage Pokemon. We're able to fight it in the den and we're able to capture it and add it to our team as our final member. From there though, we're also going to go out and beat down Jasmine to get the Choice Band. I mean, it's just pretty much free over here with our new Dracovish, and then face off against Blaine, the 7th gym leader in the game. Blaine's going to be the fire type gym leader, and we're going to start the battle off against him using my Sigilyph to actually air slash into him. Now the times I was actually restarting, he actually switched out to his Typhlosion. This time he didn't, so that's unfortunate. He's going to knock out my Sigilyph as he knocked down his Torkoal, and then I'm able to switch out into my Mega Absol to Sucker Punch, knock out the Cinderace. He sends out his Typhlosion next, which funny enough, my Absol somehow survives an eruption in the sun from a Typhlosion. It's crazy. I don't know how that worked out, but I'm able to survive it. Typhlosion goes down somehow. We also knock out the Sunflora. We also do a lot of damage against the Sunflora. Switch out to my Dragovich to knock him out. Then he's going to switch out into his Executor, which I have a bug move in my Phalanx. I don't use them apparently. I go out into my Turtonator to set up Flamethrower because his final Pokemon will be a Charizard. I am going to sack my Turtonator as I go out to my Dragovich to just Fish and Rend and knock him out. Super simple. From there, I'm going to go out and face off against Ariana and Archer. Once we beat down these two trainers, they're going to give us a really good Megastone. They're going to give us a Houndoomite and also a Mawile. So I can finally use the Mawile and finally Mega Evolve it. Doesn't count against the rules. Anyways, from there, we're going to face off against Giovanni next. Giovanni's going to be an easy breeze with my team somehow. Absol counters the Mewtwo somehow and just destroys him for me, and the battle is just pretty much over. We first try him with these 3 Pokemon and we easily beat down Giovanni. From there, we're going to face off against the 8th gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Clair next. Clair is going to start the battle off against us using an Aerodactyl. We have a Mawile, and Mawile is going to Iron Head and Sucker Punch to knock out the Aerodactyl. She then switches out to her Naganadel, which I play Rough It and knock it out in one shot. I thought I was going to go for a Flamethrower that hasn't survived, but it worked out. I am able to play Rough It into the Dragonite and then Sucker Punch to knock him out. 3 Pokemon went down super easy. The next Pokemon is going to be a Magearna. Survives an Iron Head, and unfortunately I can't knock her out as she knocks me out. I also switch out into my Turtonator for some reason and get obliterated by Fleur Cannon, so that's a horrible play. But I go out to my Dragovich to Fish and Rend, do a lot of damage to the Duraludon, but I decided to go out into my Sigilyph next just to sack him, and then go out to my Pachirisu to Thunder Wave him. I do have Prankster on this Pachirisu as I'm able to just Thunder Wave down Duraludon and close combat to knock him out, and then sack my Pachirisu against the Magearna, go out into my Dragovich to knock him out, and also knock out her own Dragovich, which is super nice. And we get the 8th gym badge of the game super simply. Next up, we're going to face off against our rivals, which isn't too big of an issue ever. So we're going to beat down Brennan with our masterful overpower Mawile, which is super crazy. From there, we're going to clear through Victory Road, which isn't too much of an issue either. Super simple. Other trainer battles can be just destroyed by both my Mawile and also the rest of my team. After we clear through Victory Road, we're going to face off against the Elite Four next, which we're going to start our Elite Four challenge against Lorelei. This time again, Lorelei uses her ice team for some reason. I'm not too sure how do you change it. I'm playing on the newest version of the game and I can't switch off her ice team. Anyways, we're going to start the battle off against her ice team using both my Dragovich and also my Mawile. Now in this fight, I just need a Choice Scarf on my Dragovich to outspeed the Ninetales to make sure she doesn't set up an Aurora Veil. After that, I am able to Iron Head and knock out the Glaceon as well. So we get 2 Pokemon knocked out. Super simple. Her next Pokemon will be a Calyrex. I am going to use my Mawile to protect, Fisherman into the Calyrex, and then just sack my Dragovich, which is fine. I then go out to my Sigilyph, which is an odd play, but I'm able to Sucker Punch, knock out the Calyrex, Air Slash into the Rotom, and then unfortunately her Azumarill comes out. I have to sack my Mawile, which is fine. I go to my Phalanx next. Phalanx is going to knock out the Rotom for me, as her Azumarill knocks out my Sigilyph, but I am able to Flamethrower into the Bomb Snow and knock her out. survive a blizzard too, and then her last Pokemon will be in Zermo, which all I gotta do is just beat it down. And I have the right Pokemon out for this point of the game. We're able to knock out the Zermo, and we can move on into the next chamber of the game. We're gonna face off against Bruno next. Bruno is gonna be the fighting type Elite Four member of the game. We're gonna start the battle off against him using my Sigilyph. Sigilyph is gonna just tear one up. He actually switches out into a Zacian, which is very bad for us because Zacian is a powerhouse. We're gonna Air Slash into him. It does a lot of damage. It actually ends up Swords Dancing up, and I'm able to flinch him on the following turn. I outspeed him because of Tailwind, and Air Slash once again will knock out the Zacian, which is surprising. I don't know how that worked out pretty well. From there, I'm going to switch out my Sigilyph to switch into my Fire-type Turtonator against the Scizor. Scizor is going to Flamethrower, the wrong Pokemon. So now I got to sack my Sigilyph. And then from there, I can switch out into my Pachirisu to get a Thunder Wave off against the Terrakion, and then switch out into my Mawile next. Mawile will easily knock out the Terrakion and Iron Head to knock him out. His next Pokemon is going to be the Scizor. I switched out into my Turtonator, obviously. Not going to let me hit him with a Flamethrower, but I do get the Urshifu down pretty low. Actually knocks him out. And then the Conkeldurr comes out, it's going to knock me out. As I switch out to my Dragovich, which will actually knock out the Conk. And then I also survive a move against the Scizor to get a Fission Rend off against him. Survive with 21 HP. And then from there, I just sack my Dragovich. Go out into my Phalanx next against his Lucario. And his Mega Lucario is not going to be able to knock out my Phalanx. And I'm able to close combat, knock him out super easily, as you can see. From there, we're going to face off against Agatha next. Agatha is going to be the Ghost-type Elite Four member of the game. And we're going to start the battle off against her using my Turtonator, just to knock out her Zoroark, which is nice. Her Spectre comes on next. I don't really have a play here, so I'm going to switch out into my Mawile, get Dumpster on, but I'm able to Sucker Punch, knock out the Spectre, which is fine. Her next Pokemon will be a Marshadow, which is kind of annoying. I can't use my Mawile here, so I go out into my Turtonator to Flamethrower and get a lucky burn against him, and that's pretty much done for the Marshadow. So Marshadow gets a very early retirement, as I'm able to knock him out using my Pachirisu, and then sack him against the Silvally, which is unfortunate. Go out into my Dragovich to two-shot him with Fission Rend, super nice. The Gengar comes out, sack my Dragovich, and then Mawile will knock him out with a Sucker Punch. And our final Pokemon will be Aegislash, which I am able to do crucial amounts of chip damage. Go out to my Sigilyph to Air Slash with the ability Tinted Lens. It's going to do massive amounts of damage because it's not very effective, and Sigilyph will knock out the Aegislash for us. And then now we get to face off against the final Elite Four member of the game. We're going to face off against Lance next. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Mawile to Iron Head and Sucker Punch, knock out his Aerodactyl super easily. His next Pokemon will be a Melmetal. I go out into my Turtonator, take a double Iron Bash, super simple. I'm going to go out for a Shell Smash, which might be a risky play, but I'm able to Flamethrower, knock out the Melmetal, which is nice. Dragonite comes on next. It's obviously going to knock out my poor Turtonator, so I go out into my Mawile to play rough him, and his Sucker Punch actually worked out pretty well. His next Pokemon is going to be that Dialga. I decided to go for some chip damage. I forgot I'm not that fast, so Mawile goes down. Should have went for a Sucker Punch, but I decided to go out into my Pachirisu to get paralyzed on him, and then go out into my Sigilyph to Air Slash into him. And then my Phalanx is able to close combat twice against him, and then basically knock him out. I mean, he's at red HP. That's basically knock him out. I go out to my Sigilyph to Air Slash to knock him out. Dragovich comes on next. I don't think I really have a plan here, so I go out into my own Dragovich. Eventually, I actually knock him out with Dragon Rush, surprisingly enough. And then his next Pokemon will be a Salamence. I am unfortunately going to go down, but I go out into my Pachirisu next to get a Thunder Wave with Prankster. And then I switch out into my Sigilyph to Psychic two-shot him actually, and knock out the Salamence. From there, we're going to finally face off against the champion of the game. The champion is going to be our rival Gary, of course. Gary's going to start the battle off against my Mawile using a Pheromosa. Okay, respect it. I'm just going to knock him out pretty easy. Just take a free lead. And his next Pokemon is going to be a Groudon, which now I don't have a free lead because this thing's pretty powerful. I go out into my Sigilyph next, take a Fire Punch, Air Slash to actually flinch him, Air Slash once again to get him low on HP. Go out into my Mawile once again to Sucker Punch and knock him out. His next Pokemon is going to be an Eternatus. I go out into my Pachirisu to Thunder Wave him, and then Super Fang twice. Get him down to very low HP, and then let my Mawile Sucker Punch get the free kill. And then his next Pokemon will be a Metagross, which I'm trying to see what he wants to do. He wants to go for a Meteor Mash. I'm going to go out to my Turtonator to Shell Trap, actually trap the Metagross into hitting me, and then do a lot of damage against him. His next Pokemon is going to be a Yveltal, which I don't have my Pachirisu to Thunder Wave, which is fine. I decided to stay in and then go for a Flamethrower. It did not work out. So I decided to go out into my Dragovich to Fission Rend. Luckily enough, I actually outspeed him. He goes for a Dark Hole, and he also knocks me out. From there, I actually go out to my Phalanx. Phalanx is going to First Impression, knock out the Yveltal, and then the imposter Ditto is gonna imposter my Phalanx, but I have no retreat on, so I'm able to no retreat, get my boost up, and then knock out the Ditto super easily as we beat down our rival and also beat down this challenge. And surprisingly enough, we actually had no issues at all. There's just a very small amount of battles that I had to restart against. This team is actually pretty broken, as you expect a Mega Mawile and Dragovish team. But anyways, that would be the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It means a lot to me that you guys do that. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, my name is Malfa. Hope you all had a great day, and I am out. Peace.